Once upon a time, in a quiet riverside town surrounded by cherry blossom trees and winding cobblestone streets, there lived a girl named Lila. She was just 12 years old, but carried a heart full of dreams and a mind wiser than her years. Lila lived with her grandmother in a small wooden house near the river. Her parents had passed away when she was just a baby. Her grandmother raised her, with gentle hands and warm stories under the starlit sky. They didn't have much, just a few chickens, a vegetable patch, and a little lantern stall at the market. But they had love, and that made their small world feel full. Every morning, before the sun had fully risen, Lila tied her hair in a ponytail, packed her basket with paper lanterns, and walked to the town square. Lanterns for hope. Lanterns for wishes. She would call out in a clear, sweet voice. People loved her bright smile. They often stopped by, not just for the lanterns, but for the joy she brought with her. But times were changing. A big factory had opened outside town. It made plastic lanterns that blinked with buttons and flashed in bright colors. They were cheaper, and slowly, fewer people stopped at Lila's stall. Some walked by with polite smiles. Others didn't look at all. Her smile faded just a little more each day. Each evening, Lila noticed the sadness in her grandmother's tired eyes. One night she whispered, "Don't worry, Grandma. Things will get better. I'll find a way." Her grandmother smiled gently, brushed Lila's hair aside, and said softly, "You've always had a brave heart, my little star. But remember, it's okay to feel sad too." That night, as rain tapped gently against the windows, and the fire flickered low, Lila couldn't sleep. She stared at the ceiling, thinking there had to be something she could do, something more than just hope. The next morning, on her way to school, Lila saw a poster pinned to a tree. It read, "Festival of Lights, 1 week away. Lantern contest. Winner receives 500 coins and a place in the city museum display." Lila gasped. This could be it. Her chance to show the world what their lanterns really meant. At school, she could barely focus. Her mind was filled with colors, shapes, stories. That afternoon, she rushed home, basket bouncing, shoes muddy from the river path. "Grandma," she shouted, "we're going to enter the contest." Her grandmother hesitated. "But Lila, we don't have much paper left. Or gold paint." Lila smiled, eyes shining. "We don't need much," she said. "We just need a lantern that tells a story." For 7 days, Lila worked. She skipped games, stayed up late, woke before the birds sang. Her hands were sore. Her arms ached. But her heart, it was light. Her grandmother helped her, sometimes painting, sometimes just humming a lullaby as Lila folded paper. On the morning of the festival, the lantern was ready. It was tall, shaped like a blooming flower. Petals opened in layers. Inside, tiny cutouts danced. A girl and her grandmother, families hugging, children laughing, shadows telling stories. When lit, the lantern came alive. That evening, town square sparkled with light. Music played. People laughed. Hundreds of lanterns floated into the sky. Lila stood by her lantern, nervous. Around her, lights blinked and spun. Some played music. But her lantern, it stood still, quietly glowing, telling its story. The judges passed by. One of them, a silver-haired woman, stopped. She said nothing, just watched and listened to the lantern's soft glow. Lila held her breath. Later that night, the mayor stepped onto the stage. He smiled and said, "Thank you for your beautiful lights." But one lantern reminded us why we light them at all. Not just for brightness, but for love. The winner is Lila and her story lantern. Crowd gasped. Then thunderous applause. Lila blinked. Her grandmother cried softly. They hugged. The mayor leaned down and said, "Your lantern didn't just shine. It spoke." Lila, with a trembling voice, replied, "I made it with my grandmother. It's our story." After the festival, people returned to their stall, not just for lanterns, but for meaning. Lila and her grandmother taught children how to fold, how to paint, how to feel a story. Their lantern was placed in the city museum, right at the entrance. The plaque read, "Made from paper and heart, a light that never fades." And every night, as they lit a lantern outside their home, the soft glow reminded them that even in the darkest times, a small light can lead the way.